I always have a good time on the European Athletics or Athletes of the Year award. It's a fantastic night. It's a great celebration of our sport, and some of the most talented athletes on the planet are here. And of course, most interestingly, some of the next generation are also being honoured, and that's a great mix to have. Well, I think the European Championships in Amsterdam was staggering. You know, we had great innovation, full stadia. The city absorbed the games in a way you really want to see a city get behind them. You had fantastic athletics performances. And I think that set the scene in European athletics for what was then an incredibly high standard of Olympic Games. There were 98 national records set, 34 of them in Europe. And that just shows you the quality of our sport this year. And again, if you look at what we did in Europe as a sport and then what we did at the Olympic Games, we've emerged at the end of the season as the clear #1 Olympic sport, and that's important for all of us. I think I've always welcomed it. If we can showcase our sport to bigger audiences, which I think is probably what will happen, and audiences like games, and it's very clear if you look at the athletics audiences for the Commonwealth Games in 2014, they were significantly higher than they were for the European Championships. It was just the single focus on the sport, so you get passing traffic, and I think that we can combine the interest of athletics with other sports. I think clearly we're going to be the #1 sport. I would say that, wouldn't I? But I do think that there can be an aggregation that will actually help our sport, help showcase, help add numbers and audiences to us, and turn Berlin into a festival of sport. Yes, of course I would have done, but I also respect her decision. And having had to make that decision many, many years ago, it's a very personal one. And if she's made that decision, it will be the right decision. She's very focused on her family. If we're being honest, there's nothing else that she can achieve in our sport. And I think actually she's probably conscious that her abiding memory needs to be of an Olympic Games in London, not necessarily something else. And I think that this is a good thing for her. But she will be missed. She will be missed in the UK. She will be missed in Sheffield. She's a fantastic role model, which is the city that I was brought up in. And in fact, when she was competing at club athletics as a small girl, I was there and gave her and some of her counterparts medals in a championship. So I feel an emotional connection here, but she's made the right decision simply because she's made it, and that can only be her decision. Yeah, very well. And this is the point, that we need to explain them. This is not about sort of just throwing out proposals and assuming everybody's going to understand them. So I'm going to every area association. Europe was the third stop off on that journey. Next week I'm in Oceania, then Asia, and then Africa. And in each area we will be presenting in the way that we did this morning. And it's very important that people discuss them. You know, we are a sport that needs to be democratic. We need to have good debate, and good debate will make us a better sport.